Hey guys, who's ready to talk about a complete build? Let's get to it. What's up guys? So this is the MK111. It's chambered in 5.56, 223, or it's 223 wild, so you can run 5.56 or 223 in it. It is 11.85 inches barrel. Technically it's a pistol. If you've seen the upper video, you know all about the upper. I have added to it since then, so I will talk about that today. But the lower, y'all have not seen yet. It's completely ambi. Let's go ahead and take this out. Nothing in it. It's completely ambi. You have the Radian Talon selector here. You can go 90 or 45 throw. Like I said, it was ambi, so you have it on the left and right side. Your mag release, your charging, everything. Comes with a Radian charging handle. I've done a couple things different. Well, a couple upgrades to the lower. It came with everything you see here. So it came with the selector. It came with all the ambi controls. It came with the SBA3. What you see different here is I have this TriggerTech performance trigger inside of it right now. I wanted to change it out from the, I think it's just like mil spec trigger that was in it. This trigger is like a I think it's 2.5 pound trigger, but they're really crisp. If you haven't tried a TriggerTech trigger yet, you need to try it out because they are nice. And there's no wiggle in it at all. You can't, I mean, it's completely crisp. But yeah, so I added the TriggerTech trigger, I added the irregular defense grip, and as far as the lower goes, that's about it. Everything else is pretty ambi. It came with the Radian Talon selector, which I would throw on it either way because it's a really nice selector. But yeah, that's the lower. Now let's talk about what I've added to it everywhere else. Promethean optic, Purse 4. This is the Temu version. This I am doing a review on this. It does not come potted, so I looked on YouTube, found out how to take it apart and completely potted it. If you don't know what potted means, it's basically a compound that you put on control boards and where the solder joints are on that control board, so where when you're under fire, you have the recoil of the gun, it doesn't disconnect. It doesn't disconnect the circuit board, or it doesn't disconnect the wires going to the laser. That is one of the reasons why it's it's much cheaper, other than the fact that it's probably made in China. But yeah, I completely potted it, and I ran about, I want to say 300 rounds through it, and it hasn't lost zero yet. Also, we have the Streamlight here. I went with Streamlight, to be completely honest with you, because it's a good value. You get a good light for not a crazy amount of money. I think I paid $120 for this light, and it came with this switch. I did change that to the eBay version of the mod button that Unity sells, because I did have to, I probably would have got the Unity version, but I did have to cut this wire and solder this to get it to work. Because if you don't know, Streamlight doesn't sell anything smaller like the mod button, and you can't take, Unity doesn't have the option for the Streamlight. They have Surefire, they have the Mod Light, they have a couple other different ones. but they don't have the option for the Streamlight, which sucks, but I made it work. I wanted to go ahead and get the smaller button because if you can see here, you have the gas adjustment here. And if I put that button there, I mean, it was gonna cover this gas adjustment. So I wanted to get something smaller that I can fit in the front where I can easily, and it fits my hand really well. Now let's talk about the irregular defense handbrake. These irregular defense, the grip and the handbrake come with a really aggressive texture. I especially like the super aggressive texture because I feel like when I'm grabbing the gun, I'm not going to slip off of it. I'm not going to have my hand slip off of it because it's so aggressive that it digs into your hand. Like, let me go ahead and see if I can show y'all. I can see it, but I don't know if y'all can. But the texture is super aggressive and you're not gonna drop. You're not gonna slip off the gun. Even if it's raining, if you're doing like drills in the rain, you're not dropping, you're not slipping off of this grip because of the aggressive texture. But yeah, that's the reason why I went with irregular defense. Shout out to Laner. He showed me them. I didn't know anything about any of it, any like Slade and any of that until him. So shout out to him for showing me it, and I absolutely love it. Can't get enough of it. I want to go ahead and get there. The mount where you can mount the optic and you can have like the little diving board here that you can put your IR device on top. I really want that as well, but they are out of stock right now. So that will be my next purchase. But if you've seen the upper video or the upper unboxing, you've seen that I did put the 32M on the end of this with the ASR brake. That is going to change now because I did buy a Rex. I can't say the last, Silentium, I think it's what it's called, but it's going to be dedicated to this gun. The 32M is more of a hybrid situation where I can move it from back and forth to like my lever action or go over to my bolt action gun. I wanted to go ahead and take that off of here, the 32M off of here. That way I can do that. I can just switch it back and forth. This is going to be more of a dedicated situation gun. So I'm going to keep it on there full time and not mess with it. Just keep it on there. If you didn't know from the first video, this is a long stroke piston gun. What does that mean? It's not direct impingement like you see on your normal ARs, right? Let me take this out so y'all can see it here. So it's got a piston rod here. You don't have your normal bolt carrier group. You have a piston rod that pushes the whole assembly back instead of only pushing the bolt carrier group back when you're in direct impingement. And they really make it, I mean, it looks like I'm having a hard time right now, but it's really not hard to get it in there. So there you go. Long stroke piston gun. Let me go ahead and go over the sling with you. So this is the Warrior Poet Society sling. I seen an ad on YouTube of this. That's the only reason why I bought it, because I really liked how that guy manipulates the gun and how he shows it. And I will show you that here. Okay. So you got it like this. You can go around, see how you can, it has that bungee to where you can pull it out and and go like that, right? Where it's not gonna sit there and choke the living shit out of you if you don't have that bungee. But yeah. Also, it has this, I think it's called a ninja clip. Might be wrong, but to where you can easily release and then easily attach it back because it is magnetic. Really cool concept. And it does show him on YouTube where he puts a whole bunch of weights on it, and this doesn't fail. You would think that it's not that much. I mean, it's designed really well to where it's not going to come off. Actually, the adjustment here failed before this thing failed. But yeah, that's the rifle there. I'm going to show you a couple of close-ups of the irregular defense grip and the handbrake because I really think it's important to me for y'all to see how this grip is. It's kind of like my buddy D's Gaines on Instagram says it's kind of like reverse stippling, which makes sense. The statement does make sense. Also, I'm going to show you some close-ups of the rail scales that I put on. And you wouldn't think that they're that grippy, but they're super grippy. It almost, like when you look at it online, it looks slick, but when you get it in hand, I mean, they're super grippy. The rail scales. Also the irregular defense, but I'm talking about the rail scales now. But yeah, and what's nice about the MK111, they come with Picatinny, and you can just straight direct mount your lights, which is pretty awesome. You don't have to worry about Picatinny. You can just direct mount it to where you don't have that issue of it coming loose or anything like that. But yeah, this is the MK111. Wanted to go over everything with it. It's still in testing. I am testing, but the 300 rounds that I put through it, I haven't had any malfunctions at all. It's ran super smooth. Would I recommend it? 100%. I would recommend it to anyone and everyone that's wanting something super reliable, and it's not too heavy. I don't know the exact poundage on it, but it's not heavy at all. It's standard to your normal AR. I think I want to say it's like 7 pounds or something like that. Not heavy at all. Which I didn't want it to be super heavy. But yeah, that's what we're looking at. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. And if you can, do me a favor, like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell so where you're notified when I do a new video. I'm trying to get long format videos going on YouTube because we're getting more and more suppression on Instagram. I know YouTube is heading that way. Also, I want to give a huge shout out to Brownells. They did send me out the lower and the upper. If you can, use my code TRIGGERED. Anything over 150 on $150 on Brownells, you can get 10% off. That's actually a little bit more than shipping if you think about it. So yeah, code TRIGGERED, Brownells. Thank y'all. Have a good day, and like I always say, train hard, father harder. See ya.